Hi, I'm Dennis Kirscher and you're in the Hidden Kitchen. Today we're making gnocchi Verdi, or spinach gnocchi. Gnocchi Verdi is a really simple dish. It's fun to make, it's easy, it tastes fabulous, it's light as a feather. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Gnocchi Verdi is spinach and ricotta. A little bit of egg, a little bit of flour, and a little bit of nutmeg. I'm going to mix those all together, make them up into little balls, and set those aside. And at the end we're going to boil those in water and serve them with our homemade pesto. So join me. So after I've steamed my spinach, I'm going to put it through a colander and I'm going to press out as much of the water as I possibly can. This is a really important step because you want to have as little flour as possible in your gnocchi Verdi. And the way that you can accomplish that is by not having it any wetter than it necessarily needs to be. So just kind of working this back and forth in the colander, pressing down, getting as much out of it as I can. Okay, when I've got that pretty reasonably strained off, I'm going to go ahead and scrape that onto my cutting board. I'll give that a quick dice. And then that's going to go into my ricotta, which I have an egg in there, a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, mix it around. And goes my Parmesan cheese. I'm using fresh whole nutmeg. Not gonna work. Let's see. There we go. Wish you could smell that. It's incredible. And that's a fair amount of nutmeg. All right. As with anything, you want to taste it. That's good, but you know what? It needs a little more nutmeg. Don't you think so, Bachi? Bachi concurs. That's great. Okay, time to make up our little gnocchi. Okay, I've got a bowl of gnocchi, and what I have is I have a little espresso spoon. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dip my hands in the flour. I'm going to get my hands nice and floured. I'm going to pull up about the size that fits on, about a serving portion that would fit on an espresso spoon. I'm going to roll that in a little bit of flour in my hand to make it into a ball, and then I have a tray that's lined with baking paper and a little bit of flour. So I'm basically going to roll up a bunch of gnocchi. I'm going to keep my hands floured and line up my gnocchi balls on a tray. At that point I'll wrap it in plastic, put it in the fridge, let it sit, and when it's time to make gnocchi, I'll show you how to do that. Go ahead and get that off. And that's the perfect size right there. That's really a nice size. Just right around a ½ inch in diameter or so. So again, a little bit of flour in my hand, just a little dab of mix, and roll it. There we go. Again, perfect. Okay, we got a pot of boiling water. We're going to put our gnocchi in one by one. It's just Mary and I for dinner tonight, so I'm going to make our little first course gnocchi. I got, I think, 10 of them going in there. So they all sink to the bottom when you first go in. And I'm going to let the tape run here to show you exactly how long it takes to cook gnocchi. It's going to take all of a minute for them to cook. They're going to come up to the top as soon as they're ready. I got my slotted spoon. I'm going to scoop them out. And they're starting to bubble up. Okay, you can see a few of them are starting to pop up. I'll just give them a minute here, let them get all the way up. When you're putting gnocchi in, it's important to put them in one by one so that they don't stick together. And give them a little stir once they're all in there. When I'm making gnocchi for 10, I'll use 2 pots, so I don't want to have try to get everything in one pot. Okay, you see they're starting to float to the top now. They've been kind of going up and down a little bit, but they're pretty much coming up to the top. And if you have any doubts, you can always pull one out and taste it. They'll be hot. Okay. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is I've got my pesto made up. Sprinkle a few pine nuts around there. Parmigiano Reggiano. And lastly but not least, nutmeg. And I'm going to sprinkle that around the plate too. Give it a little decoration. There you have it. Gnocchi Verdi with pesto genovese. Buon appetito from the Hidden Kitchen.